Hey, everybody. Glad to launch this Hangout Live. I know this is kind of a new way of communicating with everybody, but there are a number of important topics to cover. And I felt like this would be a great method because if you can join the conversation now, you'll get the information in real time. But if you're unable to, and I know this is kind of a summer schedule for everybody, you can watch it at a later point. So I'll post this in Slack when we're done with the conversation. You can certainly message me through text or on Slack if there are any questions. So we'll begin with this. 22 plus, I think everyone knows, is always dynamic and changing. But one common thing that we're always doing is looking for more ways to serve our students more effectively. This is the week where the Senate is making edits or changes to the budget, and that budget includes obviously adult education, which 22 plus falls under. That they've not released any revisions yet. I'm still waiting. I'll certainly post information on that when it becomes available. So that obviously, plays a large factor in what we're doing. I think it's going to be quite positive, but obviously nothing has come out officially yet, so we're still waiting on that. Let me now get into something that has kind of more bearing on our day-to-day operation. So this year we had 3 daytime operating sites: our Melrose site, our downtown site on Central Parkway, and then our west side site on Harrison Avenue. Our site on Harrison Avenue was an opportunity that we had for 1 year. Obviously we were on Warsaw Avenue the year previous to this, and that Santa Maria basically ran out of space to hold us. Within 2 weeks of kind of that situation falling out of the play for us, we were able to quickly do something with Delaney Communications, which is the building that housed our West Side site this year. So I have to thank Jim and his family for being gracious enough to host us in such short notice. But, for those that worked at the West Side site and for those who had seen it, the building was not in great shape. The Delaney family, unfortunately, I think, had no immediate plans to make any upgrades to the building. So the site just long-term wasn't viable. It's not maybe the condition that we need for our students and for the team. So I think on the second component to this, I feel like the proximity between the downtown location and the west side site at the position on Harrison Avenue that it was too close. I think that there's a way for us to combine what Harrison Avenue was doing with our Central Parkway location and basically enhance what the downtown site can do. And I know Sherry Marshall doesn't want it to be called downtown, but I'll refer to it as that. I believe that, these 2 sites maybe could be efficiently rolled into one very, very good site. So our daytime operating programs this year will be our downtown location at 1916 Central Parkway and at our Melrose building. Kind of as a byproduct of all of this, I feel like our efficiency level will go up. And I had a great conversation with Rory the other day. She's going to be, working with Mr. Davenport. I believe he's got a position for her at the high school doing some important stuff there. So she's going to join his efforts on that front. And then Lamont is going to come up to Melrose and help our team because, again, with just 2 daytime operating programs, I believe the volume between the 2 sites is going to be a lot more significant. So he's going to come and help both with the math, science, and English social studies here. So I'm really pleased that he's still going to be a part of the team, and I know he's used to contributing at a high level. So that's kind of a major change, but I think a change for more efficiency, as well as a change that's going to better serve our students long term. So major news just kind of up front. The thing next that I'd like to talk about is we have new space for a new opportunity. At our Melrose site, very thankfully, and I know everyone probably heard me mention this, that was at the graduation, Gary Brown, who's the property owner at our Melrose building, has given us essentially the entire second floor. What that means is we have the site, or the portion of the floor that we already occupied, which was half of it. Now we have the entire floor. We're not just doing it so we can spread out and, just have more furniture. We're doing it because we're going to not only offer 22 plus, which I think is phenomenal, but we're going to have a lot more what I call CP, career preparation. Okay, and career preparation is our chemical dependency counselor assistant program that you've heard me talk about quite a bit, as well as our fiber optic program that Tom Collins has offered already to a number of students, and they've had a lot of success with that. So we're going to be about not only the diploma, but about the post-diploma and the career preparation. We are in the midst, and June 27th will be our first day of class, but we're in the midst of hosting our first chemical dependency class, which will be 100% funded, or almost 100% funded, outside of one private pay student by Hamilton County. This is unique. There's not any high school, not only in Hamilton County, but in the whole state, that's applied for the ability to offer trades or career preparation like we have and been approved, which we have. And I don't know of any high schools working with their counties in the capacity we are, where the students are getting WIOA dollars, workforce innovation dollars, to go train. So we have become such a trusted partner of Jobs and Family Services in Hamilton County that they're entrusting us to train these individuals, to make sure that this individual our students show and earn their certification, whether it be fiber optic or chemical dependency, and most importantly, get jobs. So as we head into this school year, it's not just about a bigger, brighter space or, downtown kind of absorbing and keeping up what was happening on the west side. It's about us all working collaboratively as a unit to help people get their diploma and make the smartest post-diploma choices possible. Okay, we're going to offer a lot of those choices internally, but you're all going to have individual tasks. And I need a tremendous amount of help getting employers that want to employ individuals that will be earning these credentials. So you'll see in later communication that's more individualized what that looks like specifically. Because yes, it's wonderful to be able to offer all these trainings, but we have to know it comes at the price of, if we don't get results, we're no longer going to be eligible to do this. And there's a way that we can all contribute. I know that many of you are terrific at helping people do resume building. I know that many of you are terrific at helping to identify employers that would like to take these individuals on as team members. Everyone's going to have their role. When people get towards the end of their time at 22 plus, it's just the beginning of a next chapter. And thankfully, for many of our students, the next chapter means not having to go very far and working with a lot of familiar and friendly faces that they already know. But it's paramount that we're all working as a unit and playing certain roles in this process to make sure we deliver that most effectively. So I'm so pleased that we have this new space, and I'm so pleased that Hamilton County, and specifically Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services, has been so open to bringing us on as a training provider. But it's our responsibility to help students understand, pardon me, what the opportunities are, and also help us as an organization be able to deliver these services sustainably by helping students with the key components that are mandatory for us to maintain the ability to provide this training. So very excited about that. I mentioned some individual responsibilities, and I know that was kind of my question that I generally pose to everyone. I've been putting a tremendous amount of time and thought into this. I've not finalized it, but just know you will receive either a text or some communication from me over the summer. And it's not that I'm hyperimposing these responsibilities on you. It can be a conversation, but there are certain things that we all need to do that we own. So when we're having a call on Friday, it's not just me talking, and I know I'm doing that now. It's when I ask for a certain thing, there's a go-to person that can give me a clear-cut answer that spent a tremendous amount of time thinking about it and owning that task. So each of you will have a responsibility that's kind of like a Friday report. And it's going to differ for every single person. But the reason I think that this is so important is with adding the post-diploma, with adding the post-diploma training, in not shrinking down, but compacting our services into 2 locations, the individual responsibilities have to rise. So know that I will be sending out probably later this month, just my thoughts on individual responsibilities. And then I'll look for a convenient time to follow up and have a dialogue before PD. When we get into PD, it's going to be more about kind of perfecting and how do we implement. It won't be the first time you hear, oh, this is the responsibility that I'm going to be really entrusted with and asked to take ownership of. You'll know that well ahead of time. Okay, so going into individual responsibilities is a pivotal component of this year. The final thing, and I'm actually going to share my screen, I've tried to compile all the key spreadsheets and documents and things that we're always accessing into one internal website, kind of a 22 plus team website. When I share my screen, it will make probably a little bit better sense. If you go on this web link now, don't be surprised if there's broken links and things that are not quite working. It's just kind of put up for demo purposes, but this will be fully functioning in the next couple weeks. And again, I'll send this out. My idea is not to have people straining and searching the universe for, common information that we need to be able to do our jobs really well. And I think compiling it into one website is a key for doing this. So give me one moment. I'm going to share my screen. All right, let me present to everyone. Again, just another second. If you go on this web link that I've got right now, don't be surprised if you end up clicking on something and it doesn't work, etc. So what you're looking at now, you think, oh boy, I can't get in here. Yes, you're right. I don't want people just from the outside world being able to hop on this site, and I'll give everybody the password via Slack. But second. Okay, so this is the 22 plus team website, just has the general message. These are 2 very common links that we'll all be using. If you click on this one, it will take you to the enrollment status spreadsheet. This is the one that the coordinators use all the time, and the teachers may look at to see, what test a student has passed. So that link takes you there. The student's plan link takes you right to the Google Team Drive. So you can look for, student's plan or any of the individual documents that they may need. So right away when you land on the page, there's 2 quick links that get you to the common parts of the of Google that we always use. Under the About link is just a reminder about kind of what we stand for, that this is a family environment and we're out to serve students like family members. You can certainly read that at your leisure. But inside of it is our handbook / operations manual. If you click this link, pardon me, it will load up the operations manual. Again, this year, we need to not just skim over this in PD, it needs to be abided by. Both the way we operate, from just kind of professional policy standpoint and from a team operation standpoint. So that's on our internal website. You can get to our handbook. And then again, this is not kind of updated, but if you click the marketing materials link, if you're going to an event to represent the school, you'll have access to all the flyers and materials that we use, or if you're posting something on Facebook, you'll have access to it. So you've got the handbook and then access to our marketing materials. I'll just go over a few more things. The student information tab, it's the enrollment status spreadsheet. Again, it's no different than the link on the home sheet, it's just here twice. Then we've got student OGT scores. When you click on this, and I'm sorry, the images aren't linked right now, but the verbiage underneath is. When you land on this sheet, it's in view only, but you can search for people's name. You can see what they passed, failed. This is about 99% up to date at all times. If you're not seeing proper information on it, you can just let us know. But this is a quick way to see what students have passed and failed. Student contact information will be a link to our general call sheet. So if you have to call or email a student, and somebody's individual responsibility, will be keeping this up to date with everybody coming in. Again, wait for further detail on that, but you'll have a link directly to a call sheet. You just search the sheet for whoever you're looking for, and you can call them right away. Student plans. Not only do we have the link to the Google Drive where you would find a student's plan or other pertinent information, but we have a link to the state approval list. This means that the plan has been reviewed by Michelle Rammel, who's our auditor at the state, or Dean, who's a new gentleman that reviews. But you'll be able to know, oh, okay, this person's plan's more tentative. Even if it's concrete, we share it with the student, you can let them know, hey, we're handing this to you, but the state hasn't approved. So you'll just click state approval when you're looking for details on that. Our ADP and CP link is our adult diploma program link. I'm not going to go into details on that now. We don't have this finalized. This is going to be very exciting, but I'll just show you the little banner coming soon. More details on even the career preparation part coming soon, but the details will be on the site when we go live. And then I made a directory with all of our team emails in and a link to our Slack, just in case we want to email or set up a meeting with one another. I don't know why we would want to do it, but I just felt like it was probably wise to have all the team member names listed. And if you do click on any of the links, it does open up an ability to email that person if for whatever reason you choose email over Slack as the method of communicating with them. So with that said, I'm going to jump back to the Hangout. With that said, I'm very excited about this year. We're still going to have the night programs, and I know there's been a lot of emphasis, can there be a Saturday school, etc. My answer to that is, trust me, I've heard it. I am eager to see what the Senate does in terms of budget changes, modifications, hopefully increases. That will dictate quite a bit about what the evening programs look like in terms of expansion. We are for sure having the one night a week, but hopefully it can be, examined and we can do even more. But that will be heavily predicated on how the budget comes back. I know I also talked about the goals and incentives, right? If we reach these stretch targets as a team, there can be certain rewards. I will be able to give you deep detail on what those rewards look like more specifically, again, once this budget comes in. So there's still a few question marks, but there's a lot more knowns than unknowns. And I just wanted to share as a team that we're moving forward with a slightly kind of leaner approach, just 2 daytime operating campuses. But I trust that when we're all asked individually to take ownership over particular tasks, that we were going to have an elite year where we passed the 350 graduate mark that we had this year and do so much more. And I've also heard a lot of positive feedback about maybe reducing the amount of graduation ceremonies we have and taking a slightly different approach. I think you all are going to be pleased, and I don't have enough detail to go into what those are specifically, but I think we're all as a team going to be very pleased at what the result of maybe contracting the amount of celebrations ends up looking like. I think it's going to result in, and again, I'm not going to get into specifics about what venue, but I think a larger venue, obviously a venue with a microphone that works, which seems to be, something that I thought relatively intelligent people have not been able to figure out so far. And I'm not referencing anyone on this team, but just the venues we've chosen to use have been quite disappointing in that regard. But I think all that's going to dramatically change. And we're all going to be very impressed with both the venue and the multimedia and sound system and all of that. So I'm so much looking forward to the 2019-2020 school year. And I hope that, what I've shared with you today has you excited. I'm very excited about it. And I look forward to talking with you and sharing with you more the individual contributions that I think we all need to make coming into this upcoming year. I will leave off on one final note. As one component of our professional development, when we all assemble, I will be kind of preemptively sending out a very short personality assessment. And I know I've been very serious on this hangout, but I want to dive into a little bit before we get into the tactical nature of what we need to do from a team standpoint, everybody's personality. What I'm sending out is a very good personality assessment. It's not a Myers-Briggs. It's not 800 things about, all this in-depth stuff, but it gives you a very good, and I've taken it, it gives you a very good general sense of who a person is, okay? We need to embrace who we are as people. We also need to take each other maybe as lightheartedly, within reason as we can. Like, we just have to have a better understanding. This is something I'm looking to do a much better job of. I think this personality assessment will help quite a bit with that. But I want to break down walls. I want to look at stuff as a 22 plus team versus sites. I'm very sick and tired of even naming sites. It's 22 plus. We're going to break down and break away from kind of individual play and people, I think, maybe having a grandiose thought on what their contribution really means. We're all co-contributing, and those contributions can certainly be at different levels, but at the end of the day, it's going into one basket. And we all have to kind of be aligned in what that basket is and feel, I think, like we have a satisfactory role in contributing. So hopefully we can do the personality assessment and poke a little bit of fun at everyone and not walk away from the personality assessment like, oh, I'm shy, or I'm an introvert, or, I'm an extrovert. It's more about just understanding what makes a person tick. We all have certain limitations and certain strengths, but collectively we have to just come together and figure out how to assist one another in maximizing all of our unique strengths. So folks, have a good rest of the summer. I'll be in contact with those individual objectives and I'll set up a time with you to talk more individually. But until then, enjoy, and looking forward to having a really dynamic 2019 and 2020 school year. All right. I'll talk to everyone later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.